Welcome to the videos of Garden House Studio. My name is Peggy, and I am so glad that you're here. For today's project, I am using a door. It was kind of coming apart, so we cragged it together to make sure that it remains sturdy. And I am making a sign that looks like it came from 1910. I'm using the Ephemeral Melange Transfer from IOD, and I'm also using IOD Stamps, the Vintage Textures Stamps, which has a large crackle, a peely paint, a small crackle. But for this project, I'm just using the large crackle. I'm using iron oxide paint from Wise Owl, which gives you a super rusty effect because I want this sign to look like it came from 1910. So we are going to crackle the whole background. When I use paint, I use a brayer to put the paint on the back of the stamp. It works so much better. And you would think with a 6 by 6 inch stamp, it would take a long time, but it goes really quickly. Have you ever seen an old door with peely paint and big crackles? Well, that's the image that I am trying to get here with this wall art. And the next piece I am going to use, I am using the chippy paint stamp, which is also part of the vintage textures. And that's just going to give me bigger chunks of paint, bigger chunks of rust. But I'm going to use the exact same brayer, the same color paint, the iron oxide, and I'm just going to, again, randomly put that all over. Because if you see stuff that is got crackle and chippy paint, it's pretty random. When I use paint with my stamps, I do wash them right away. This is chalk synthesis paint from Wise Owl, so it's pretty easy to get it out. I just use a little brush and get inside all those little divots. But if I was using an acrylic paint, it's a little harder to get it off of the stamp, so I would want to clean it right away. To add to my 1910 grunginess, I am taking some grayish black paint and I'm going to dry brush it around the edges. And that just means I'm going to put a little bit on my brush and then wipe some of it off and just randomly again put a little bit of gray paint throughout to add to that 1910 grunginess. My final grunginess is to go around the whole edge of the board with grayish black ink and just give it a border. And this is the transfer that I'm going to be using. With just a little sneak peek of that transfer, which comes from the Ephemeral Melange. And once I've done the ink all around the edges, I'm going to let it dry, and this is ready to have a top coat on it so that it's ready to have the transfer put on it. So I flipped it over. I had done the other side and made it ready so that I could finish this all in one sitting. So this is actually the front side of the door. And you could see it's got all the same crackle, it's got all the same grunginess, but it also has a top coat and it is ready for the transfer. This part of the ephemeral melange is 9 by 12, and there's nothing about this little transfer that I don't like. The pink roses, there is a butterfly, and the little girl cutting roses. It's all just super perfect. And I love the way the robin's egg blue and the pink and the red lettering look together. Because I've top coated with this with varnish, you'll see how easy this transfer just comes right off. Now this is a pretty big sign, but the seeds transfer has this exact design in a smaller size. So you could use this same little girl and the flowers and just make a smaller sign. To finish off the design, I am using a first generation transfer. It is no longer available, and this is my very last one, but it works perfect on this wall art. So I am going to, I'm reverse rolling it, made it a little bit easier to attach. And then I am just going to make sure it's super clean underneath so that it goes down easily. And then I will burnish it down. Now, these transfers were a little different. They have a little more of a halo than the newer transfers. But on this particular piece, it didn't matter at all. If I was to make this now, because I no longer have that transfer, I would probably use a stencil and or some stamps, or mix it up with the stencil and some stamps. But I still think I would like to have this verbiage. And now it's done. So the original paint color is robin's egg blue with a little bit of white mixed in to really soften it. And once I was sure everything was totally adhered, perfectly adhered, I went ahead and I top coated it with Wise-Owl varnish. And literally, I was only able to hold on to this sign for a couple days and it sold. Thanks for watching our video, and I hope you were able to get some ideas for stamping and getting this really, really chippy paint look, and for using some of your smaller transfers. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.